Well, he found the water. Hey! These are my lesbian glasses. Actually, they're not mine. I wore my Man of Steel shirt today because this is a Man of Steel interview. An interview. This is the Man of Steel review. I went to see it the other day, yesterday, in fact, at the $5 Tuesday because I didn't want to pay full price. And here are my thoughts. The film opens with Superman's mom and dad while the mom's giving birth. And the only thing I can think of at that moment is this technologically advanced society is so advanced that the women still give birth with a lot of pain. I bet you if it was a man that was giving birth, they would have solved that problem. But anyway, that's a side note because actually is explained why she's giving birth and she has all this pain. Natural childbirth. It's explained later in the film. Oops. In the beginning, it's a lot of backstory, so they really try to go deep into the backstory, into Krypton and how it died. Yeah, I didn't like that part. I mean, it was cool, but it was not cool. I don't know. It felt like it was rewritten to fit whatever they were trying to do, which is cool because it's a reboot. The one thing I didn't like about the film, well, so there was a lot of things I didn't like, but one of the things is the flashback overkill. Everything was a flashback. Every time he sneezed, he was having another flashback. It was just kind of too much. So I know it's a tool to tell the story, but when you use it too much, it's too much. And the whole film, it was kind of snoozy. It was boring. They're always trying to make things really deep and edgy with the superheroes these days, and it wasn't deep or edgy. It was just dark and boring, dark and sleepy. Good special effects. I especially liked the but the really tight spandex that everybody from Krypton wore. Hot. The only scene that I didn't like with the special effects was when he was learning how to fly and he was flying like over Africa and everything. It looked like clearly it was CGI. It was like grainy in the background. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. I feel like in general with all these superheroes, they're so mighty and so powerful that the challenges that they face have to be even greater, and they keep raising the bar and they keep raising the challenge level, and it's like, how am I supposed to feel empowered as a normal human being when the superhuman beings can't even win their battles without like a massive effort? It just feels like too much, you know? It should be simpler. For a superhero, there's no hope for me. Everyone in general was really, really, and I feel like that's the director's fault. He over-directed and he wanted some, I guess it was the gravitas that he was going for in the characters, but it was just really, really boring. Amy Adams, who I love, who I think is really good in her roles, she didn't have any life. There was no life. It was similar to After Earth with Will Smith. Dead. Anyway, and everyone was kind of like bland. Diane Lane, who I love in all her movies, she was it was just everybody was kind of like this. And the villain was like, I didn't buy him as the villain. Like the villain in Star Trek, Khan, Cumberbatch. I don't remember his real name. Sorry, but he is Cumberbatch. He was like a menacing, intense. He showed levels of aggression and peace, but even when he was peaceful, he was like menacing. This villain was just one note, like angry, Hulk smash all the time, and that was whack for me. And I don't know his name, but I will put it in. And then the whole, like, once they finally got to the fighting, it was a lot of fighting. They destroyed half the city just because they were fighting, and of course they had to use the buildings as something to break their fall, which they didn't really break their fall, it just broke the buildings. I mean, everything was just torn up, and they did more damage with that to the city with the fighting than they did with the machines that were, trying to shift the Earth's atmosphere. And the end scene is Superman is with Lois, and he, she's safe, kiss kiss, smooch smooch, which I don't know why they needed that. And then he takes off because then General Zod appears, and they go fighting and whatever, and they're flying around the city, and all of a sudden they're in, like, I think it's Central Station it's not supposed to be New York, right? Is it? Anyway, it's a big bus station, whatever, and in comes Lois Lane, Amy Adams. Where did you come from? How did you get here? We left your ass over there while flying through the city and destroying it with our fighting. So it just felt really forced. Similar to how Batman got back to Gotham from wherever the hell he was in that last Batman movie and found Catwoman, like that. I don't know. And it was over, like, no spoiler alert, or no spoilers here, but the way the fight scene ended was like several people in the movie were like, that's all it took. So I don't know. Overall, I did not like Superman or the Man of Steel. It was too boring. That's my thoughts, and it was too boring.